Hello, my name is Jesse Meekum with another episode of The Jesse Meekum Show, and I'm here each week, almost each week, to obsess out loud about spending purposefully, saving aspirationally, giving joyfully. It all comes down to just giving every dollar a job, and perhaps more than we want for ourselves, we want it for our kids, to be able to give every dollar a job and appreciate this very lovely, very precious resource that we call money. I will tell you, we go about teaching our kids kind of all wrong. We either dump too much on them or we don't say anything. And we just have to be really aware of exactly what it is that these kids at these various ages need. And I am honestly no expert in this. I have 7 kids, so that means I get 7 tries. And I've tried it already with now, 6 out of the 7. But they're all in various stages. And it's too late to declare victory as a parent. I'm not sure when you actually get to do that. But I will tell you what we do in the Meekum household, and then you can take what you would like from that. The objective overall is to have them love how they spend their money. Love their money. Love it. I have a college kid who still, because of the habit we sort of imposed on them when they were young, still saves 45% of his income, and he's in college. Now, we help him out with tuition. That's really the only way he's able to do it. And he got a scholarship, which really helped for some of it. So that's where that's possible. But the idea, even the idea that's in his head, like, I'm going to do that, I'm going to keep doing that, that comes from years and years of him just building that muscle of, we save 45%. You guys are like, why 45%? 10% tithing, and then you split the rest, 45%. So let me tell you what we do. First, we just give our kids money early on. We call it an allowance. I got this from Ron Lieber in his book, something about spoiled kids, how to not raise them. And the allowance is not because they've earned it. You just give it to them. And the whole point of the allowance is just to have them practice managing and spending money. So don't tie the allowance to any kind of chores. Just give them the allowance and know that money is paying for the lesson of practice for that little kid. And we start that at 5. Very little bits, but it's enough for them to kind of start to get the idea. A lot of times they lose it, and so I find it, and then I give it to them as allowance again. Is that deceitful? Perhaps, but is it a life lesson? Most definitely. At the chore thing versus allowance, people will be like, I want them to know that they got to work to earn money. Yes, that's true. You teach that later, or at least we have. I shouldn't say like it's so declarative. We've just chosen to have them start to earn money more regularly later, and they actually will work for YNAB in some form or fashion. And that helps them to actually get on payroll and see what it's like to have all of your money taken out before it gets deposited in your bank account because of taxes and all of those hard life lessons. But back to the chores. The kids do chores. They just do them because they're good citizens in the household. They're members of the family. That's why we do chores. We don't tie money to chores. You live here, So I've said this for years, but people have still asked, like, why do you start your kids on YNAB, the actual software, at 8 years old? And to be honest, it's because in our religion, they're baptized when they're 8 years old. And so I just use that as like this mental marker in my mind years ago, like 12 years ago with the first one, and just thought, 8 years old. Okay, hey, look, when you're 8, you get baptized. And also when you're 8, you get to have your own YNAB set up, and I'll walk you through it. And then, that's odd. Tied to something else religious, actually. We fast every first Sunday of the month, and that's when I decided that I would walk through the little kids, walk through their budget with them, and we could just kind of make sure everything was good, and they can start to plan and put money in categories, and that's honestly where the magic happens. Now, the magic is just the 5 questions. So it's really fun to sit down with your 9-year-old daughter and say, well, what large or less frequent spending should you prepare for? And she's just like, what are you talking about? So you do phrase it a little bit different. You might even skip question 2. You might skip question 3. You could talk about how, hey, your mom and I, we actually use this question because it helps us get a month ahead, where if dad didn't earn any money this month, we would still be fine if they're so inclined. You can tailor it. But you jump to the fourth question pretty quickly. So first question, fourth question. First question, hey, what do you want to do with this money before you're paid again? That's cool. And then the fourth question of, what goals, large or small, do you want to prioritize? But I wouldn't say it to them that way. I would say, what big things do you want to save up for? And boy, the lights come on and it is awesome. It really is awesome to just see their eyes start to go wide and imagine. And that's the lesson that teaching your kids these lessons will teach you. You will be reminded that you are allowed to imagine what your money can do for you. And somewhere along the way, we lose that. And when you sit down, don't stress over this. Don't make it regimented. Don't make it a to-do. Just work it in there. Just sit down with them and watch them demonstrate to you how to imagine with money. They're just, as always, they're just giving every dollar a job.